one chapter today, and that's the third task. And things are happening. And will continue to happen for the end of the book. But the end is beginning. But what I find really interesting in this chapter in particular is Harry is finally putting his lessons very noticeably to use. He's figured out continuing to externalize and internalize with his friends. He's also figured out when to keep his mouth shut, particularly about Neville. He's figured out the importance of people, even if they're not directly your family. Like, when Molly and Bill show up, I'm just like, yeah, Harry, you got family. You don't need those Dursleys. You don't need people who bring you down in a moment when you need to be brought up. And you'll notice that he knows this. So when Molly's like super cool, and by cool I mean cold, to Hermione, like right away he's just like, no mud raking in my house. You don't actually believe that, do you? Hermione and I are friends. She's not my girlfriend. We're cool. He's figured out that you need to address these problems, even if you're concerned it might start a fight. Because you need to set things straight. You need to back people when they need to be backed. And he backed Hermione on that one, and I was like, yes! Yes! Another thing he sort of figured out is focus on other things. Don't get yourself into that position where it's just like, that happened, you know, before the dragon. Mind you, it's sort of the judge's fault on that one of just sit here for as long as it takes for the other champions to do this. Just sit here by yourself. Family, and he's like, okay, focus on this moment. And it's at the meal that he's sort of like, but he's got it and he's ready to go. Like, he recounts everything he has done to prepare for this. And he's just like, nah, I got this. I'm good. I can do this. We'll just go in and we'll do it. We'll see how this goes. We're actually getting a much more confident Harry than what we've seen building up to this point. He's prepared this time. He's practiced even more than he did with the first task. He's certainly more prepared than he was for the second. And he's ready to go in and do what he has to do. But he's still got that fair game thing going on. Like, he and Cedric go in and they're just like, cool, see you when I see you. And they both go separate ways. Like, it's not one of them is going to try and tail the other because they think they have some bigger advantage. It's, okay. Okay, let's do this. When Harry isn't meeting anything, he's recognized that this is freaking him out. That, again, is that question of fighting the battle before you actually fight a battle. He is going through this going, I should be hitting something right now and I'm not. And it has him, like, not all nerves. He's not a raw nerve end that every little thing is going to hit off of it and freak him out. Because he meets Cedric again. And he doesn't, like, start cursing or something. He just... he's at attention. He's not just anxious and ready to go. So when the Dementor shows up, he automatically responds. He's like, okay, I got this. That was not normal. And then he figures it out. He's like, logically, no, they're not going to send a Dementor in here. You stumbled. Okay, Bogart, ridiculous. Like, he's actually putting into practice all these lessons not only learned in this book, but learned in the previous one. For a kid who is going up against 3 people who are notably older and more experienced than him, he is going through the motions that he has to with the confidence that he needs. It is this recognition of, okay, I know I've been outgunned, but we're doing it my way, and I'm gonna get through this. And there's a bit of the, maybe I could win this, but he does not let that rule his thoughts. He does not go through going, oh yeah, I'm the best thing ever, but he also doesn't go through just jumping at every noise. He's going through like, okay, let's do this. We know he has problems. He meets the blast end of Scroot, and it takes him quite a bit to actually get it down. But he does, and he knows right away, like, I can't stop and, like, celebrate here. That spell's gonna wear off. I need to go, and he keeps going. Every time he meets Cedric, he is being personable about it. It's not, this is my enemy in this moment. It is, this is a kid who's probably just as scared as I am. And we're gonna keep going. When he hears Fleur scream, his concern is for Fleur. Eventually he recognizes she's probably out of the running, but again, even when he recognizes that, he's not vaunting in it. This is the same as the underwater task. These things can actually do some harm if you're not ready, and I am concerned for this person, and whether or not harm has been done. He goes running towards Crumb and Cedric when he hears Crumb use an unforgivable on Cedric. Again, this is like a 17-year-old Quidditch star that apparently went to a school that's a lot better known for offensive magic than Hogwarts is. A lot of other people would be running the opposite direction. And he's like, no, I need to do this. I need to do this. And so, like, busts in on Cedric and Chrome, and he's like, and still is willing to pity the dude. Like, Cedric's like, do we just leave him? And Harry's like, I'll throw up sparks. And Cedric's, why? Like, why? He deserves to get eaten by something. And Harry's going, yeah, but is that right for us? We know, of course, that Crumb is actually being imperious. Harry and Cedric don't. Cedric, understandably, just been cursed with a curse that Harry has recently figured out can drive you insane. And Harry still is like, we're not stooping to that level. Like, we are not becoming what Crouch has shown to be. I'm not becoming that person who, the moment I even get a hint of something, I'm gonna rip you up to pieces. Crouch does that with Ludo Bagman, who, by all accounts, is an innocent victim. He was used for his knowledge by someone who morally was willing to do that. And Crouch was willing to throw Ludman in Azkaban. Like, straight up. And Harry's going, no. Harry is learning the lessons that other people are teaching him. He is not looking at the world saying, I know exactly what's going on. He's willing to change it. He looks at Crumb and says, I thought you were a better person. But he's not willing that betrayal to actually change him for the worse. He's willing to change for the better, but he's not going to let Crumb sit here and get eaten by something. He's willing to help somebody who is, at this point in time, his actions have proved that maybe he shouldn't. But that's the thing. Okay, I make this decision. No. No, I need to stick to who I am, and who I am has a saving people problem, apparently. And even maybe if they would deserve to get hurt because they're willing to hurt others. Except that's not the question. They're willing to hurt others. That does not mean I have the right to hurt them. And so Harry saves Crumb. And then we hit the Sphinx. And it's Harry's recognition of, okay, I can't just constantly rely on Hermione for this. I need to be able to think for myself and figure this stuff out. And he takes his time to. Because what the Sphinx says is, your fastest way is past me, but that is certainly not the only way. Cedric gets through, apparently, in a different direction. So Harry could go off if he's decided he'd rather fight some sort of beast than, like, take his time to logically figure this out. But he takes that lesson, like, no, Hermione has proven herself so many times by willing to work through a problem logically. I can do that too. And you're just like, yes, Harry, you can! You can! And he does. But he doesn't make a snap judgment. He asks for the entire riddle slower, and then he asks for individual lines. And the Sphinx is smiling about it. Because it's the smart thing to do. You recognize it's a riddle. Okay, I need to figure this out. Okay, it's a breakdown riddle. I need to break it down. And that's what Harry is doing. He's figured out that action is necessary when action is necessary, but so is logically thinking. And if you can marry them together, then you can get to the cup. And he does. And he continues to be himself. Even in taking all of these lessons that people have taught him, he continues to be himself. Because in that moment, there have been all of these people who have been telling him that you could win, all for reasons for them. A little bit for Harry too, but the people that we have heard, the Gryffindors, so there's a Gryffindor Triwizard Champion. For Hagrid, it's for the support of the fact that he is a half-blood giant. It is to take out Rita Skeeter. It is to prove her wrong. It is to show the bravery of this house and these students and blah 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 blah. If Harry had taken all of that, again, at just face value, straightforward, then he would have let Cedric get taken down by that spider and run for it, but he doesn't. They actually take that spider out together because Cedric doesn't leave Harry either. Even when the spider is down for the count, they're arguing about, no, you take the cup. No, it's not right for me to take it, you take it. It's not right for me to take it, you take it. Don't forget that this is a Hufflepuff. Their key personality traits are hard work, which Cedric has proved up to this point, and loyalty. And what Cedric is showing here is that Harry has earned that loyalty. And Cedric is brave in his own right. It's a Hufflepuff bravery. Because the reason why all the Hufflepuffs are mad about this is Hufflepuff gets sloughed off. They're the unimportant house. They're not smart enough, they're not sly enough, they're not brave enough, they're not important. And in this moment that Cedric's name comes out of the cup, they're important. So yes, they are upset when Harry's name comes out and suddenly Cedric isn't as important. Especially after Rita Skeeter writes that first column. But the thing is, Cedric is saying, that wasn't right of my house. I will represent the virtues of my house as they should be. And just like Harry, it is fighting for what he believes in and not what everyone else is telling him he should fight for. And that means these two boys grab that cup together. Because neither of them are willing to throw their own morals out the window for anybody else. Even if that means that they will be despised and disliked from all these people that told them that they could win and prove they were so much better than the other champions, each other included. But that's not what's important here. In fact, Hogwarts' greatest bragging right in this moment is the fact that these two boys who have been competing against each other and helping each other this entire time had an argument about who deserves to win. And they never once argued for themselves. And the worst thing in the world is that it's going to get Cedric killed. Because neither of these boys deserve that. But that's for our next video. Until then, I'm going to keep reading. And I hope you do too. See you next time.